Every president, Democrat or Republican, believes the War Powers Act is fundamentally a fake and unconstitutional law. It's not going to change anything.
The yeas are 52. The nays are 47. The motion is agreed to.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
Well, Trump is absolutely fuming after he was handed a major rebuke from his own party. That's right. Today, Republicans joined with Democrats to advance a War Powers resolution that would curb Donald Trump's ability to conduct further military actions in Venezuela without, of course, congressional approval. And that just tells you how much support he's losing within his own ranks.
I'll vote yes because, our founding fathers debated this. They debated whether or not the initiation of war, the declaration of war, should begin with Congress, with the people, with the people's representatives, or whether or not it should be left to one person.
You have to see how some people might be feeling a little bit of whiplash here, given that Trump spent 10 years railing against U.S.-led regime change war.
See, this week, the U.S. Senate took the rare step of advancing a War Powers resolution aimed squarely at President Trump's handling of the Venezuela crisis, a vote that would require him to then obtain congressional authorization before conducting any further military action in or against Venezuela. That resolution moved forward on a 52-47 vote, with 5 Republican senators joining all Senate Democrats in support. Now, a president getting bipartisan pushback can happen. We've seen it before. But when you look at the 5 members of his own party breaking ranks, something significant is happening here. It's a political red flag when you look at someone like Josh Hawley, perhaps the most striking of the lot, distancing himself from the president, given his often unequivocal allegiance to the Trump agenda.
I'm going to pin you down on what you're trying to do. Are you trying to say that as of January 20th, that President Trump will be president?
Well, that depends on what happens on Wednesday. I mean, this is why we have the debate.
No, it doesn't.
I mean,
the states, by the Constitution, say they certify the election. They did certify it. By the Constitution, Congress doesn't have the right to overturn the certification, at least as most experts read it.
Their vote signaled not just a policy dispute, but genuine concern about the direction of Trump's foreign policy, especially in the wake of the Venezuela raid and the president's own comments about just going in and controlling the country and their oil.
Did you speak with them before the operation took place?
Yes.
Did you maybe tip them off?
Before and after. And they want to go in, and they're going to do a great job for the people of Venezuela. And they're going to represent us well.
Could have done it. And as to this commander-in-chief, he did something people talked about doing. You just wait for Cuba. Cuba is a communist dictatorship that's killed priests and nuns. They've preyed on their own people. Their days are numbered. We're going to wake up one day, I hope in 26, in our backyard, we're going to have allies in these countries doing business with America, not narco-terrorist dictators killing Americans. This is a big frigging day. And everybody in the world is thinking differently than they were just a few days ago because of what you did.
Now, it is important to remember a War Powers resolution doesn't just challenge a specific military action. It challenges a constitutional relationship between the branches of government. By voting with Democrats to advance this measure, these Republicans are saying they just don't trust Trump's judgment on when or how to expand military engagements.
Mr. Speaker, James Madison warned us that in no part of the Constitution is more wisdom to be found than in the clause which confides the question of war and peace to the legislature and not the executive. Madison called it the crown jewel of Congress. The framers understood a simple truth. To the extent that war-making power devolves to one person, liberty dissolves. If the president believes military action against Venezuela is justified and needed, he should make the case and Congress should vote before American lives and treasure are spent on regime change in South America. Let's be honest about likely outcomes. Do we truly believe that Nicolas Maduro will be replaced by a modern-day George Washington? How did that work out? In Cuba, Libya, Iraq, or Syria? Previous presidents told us to go to war over WMDs, weapons of mass destruction, that did not exist. Now it's the same playbook, except we're told that drugs are the WMDs. If it were about drugs, we'd bomb Mexico or China or Colombia, and the president would not have pardoned Juan Orlando Hernandez. This is about oil and regime change. And when it comes to regime change, we've already been down this road with Venezuela with nothing to show for it. In 2019, we recognized Juan Guaido. We seized their embassy here in D.C. We were told that regime change was imminent. Years later, Maduro remains in power. Today, we're told to place our hopes in other exiled figures.
And as predictable as my fifth beer after saying I'm only having one, Trump voiced his concern loudly, attacking those senators, saying, quote, they should never be elected again. When Republicans start voting based on constitutional principle instead of party line, that reflects the deeper unease for the GOP as a whole, which even has the likes of Laura Ingraham of Fox News uneasy ahead of this year's midterms.
Goal here is to stop the drug and human trafficking into America, and I don't think Saudi Arabia is sending fentanyl into America.
Well, neither is Venezuela. Venezuela doesn't export any fentanyl at all.
Well,
in
what
fact,
about cocaine?
Their main product,
what about cocaine?
Well, there is some argument, yes, on the cocaine front that there are people within that country. There are also people within several countries in South America that are producing cocaine. What I would say is, look, there's no love lost for Maduro. I've written a book, The Case Against Socialism. I'm glad he's gone. I've described how teenagers are scrounging for food in Venezuela. Socialism is bad, but there's a bigger picture here also between us making this decision. For 30 years, from 1970 to 2000, the Venezuelan people kept voting in socialists. In the initial elections, they actually voted in Chavez, and most people think the initial elections were likely legitimate. But this is the end result of socialism. This is state-sponsored violence that occurred there. But what has to happen now is the people of Venezuela need to choose better. They need to realize that it wasn't just getting a bad person, that this is a bad economic system. So the oil companies have been owned by the Venezuelan government since 1976, the gas companies since 1971. This is not a new thing. So there's a bigger, broader debate we should be having here. And I don't think telling the people of Venezuela, we're coming, the gringos are coming, we're going to run your country, oil companies will come in and run you like we did in the 19th century. I think that even our friends will resist that. And so I think there's a great positive feeling for America now in Venezuela. I don't think we should ruin it by telling them, well, the gringos are coming, the gringos are coming. I think what we should be saying is, now we're going to allow you to assume your sovereignty, for you to make decisions on your oil, and our hope is that you will choose capitalism, not socialism. But the thing is had we declared war, and had we then said to the president, you have the power to invade Venezuela, still no one would have had to have been told when. The difference between declaration of war and execution of war is that nobody was asking, or ever should ask, exactly what the commander-in-chief is doing and exactly when. It's whether or not to go to war. And this is a big debate. Yeah. In the recent defense authorization bill, the Congress actually tried to hamstring Trump's hands and say he couldn't move troops around in Europe or in Syria. I oppose that. So I'm actually for more commander-in-chief power for the execution of the war, but less commander-in-chief power for the actual initiation of war.
Okay, Katie, one thing that we should also see, Mark is right, the midterms right now look ugly unless the Republicans really get serious.
And so she should be, because Trump has been hemorrhaging support from fellow Republicans. And when you look at how independents are polling, they are joining ranks with most Democrats who are rallying their base.
And what are we talking about here? Strongly approve of Donald Trump. Okay, this is 2024 Trump voters. In March, it was 66%. Look at where we are now. It's just 50% of 2024 Trump voters strongly approve of him. We got the Democratic gains on the left side. We got the Republican gains on the right side. Democrats, 5 in California, 1 in Utah because of the Supreme Court, and then Texas, 4 for Republicans, Missouri 1, North Carolina 1, Ohio 1. That's 7. That's 6. It's basically turned out into a wash. Maybe Republicans plus 1 seat, but the bottom line is Donald Trump made us go through all of this, and the end result is it really doesn't change all that much.
So if this pattern continues, with more Republican lawmakers pushing back publicly, Trump's narrative of total GOP control will further erode just when he's counting on that unity the most.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.